Hey, welcome back to Understanding the Foundations. In our last video, The Gift of the Sabbath, we touched on a very interesting passage that I wanted to come back and explore with you a bit more. A rabbi showed me that what I used to think was just boring repetition in the book of Exodus turns out to be a fascinating linguistic structure called a chiasm. Chiasms are found all through the books of the Torah, and when you find them, they can add deeper insights to the text. Exodus 31 verses 12 through 17 is an excellent example of a chiasm. So here's how chiasms work. We all know the phrase, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. It is a play on words where the same words or ideas are presented in both forward and reverse order to emphasize a point. In chiasms, the most important point is the one in the center. If we add a bit of color to our example, we can see this. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. The central idea here, of course, is encouraging people to be tough. So here's our scripture, the way we normally see and read it. And the Lord said to Moses, "You are to speak to the people of Israel and say, above all, you shall keep my Sabbaths, for this is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I, the Lord, sanctify you. You shall keep the Sabbath, because it is holy for you. Everyone who profanes it shall be put to death. Whoever does any work on it, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of solemn rest, holy to the Lord. Whoever does any work on the Sabbath day shall be put to death. Therefore the people of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, observing the Sabbath throughout their generation, as a covenant forever. It is a sign forever between me and the people of Israel, that in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed." Lots of seemingly unnecessary repetition, but if I add a bit of color to it, an amazing pattern appears. The first 3 ideas, shown in blue, green, and yellow, say that the Sabbath is a sign, that it is between us and God, and that it is forever. These 3 incoming layers are reflected at the end of the chiasm in the reverse order, as are the next 3 layers. The center of the chiasm is its key message. We work 6 days, but the 7th day is a Sabbath, which is holy to the Lord. This is restated at the very end for even more emphasis. Chiastic structures are often hard to see because the translators must rearrange the words to make sense in English. The somewhat awkward wording shown above is as close to a word-for-word translation from Hebrew as would make sense to us. The incoming layers of a chiasm may be identical to the outgoing layers, but often they have interesting contrasts. In this example, the differences are very subtle. Notice that in the top half, God is speaking to the people with statements like, "that you may know," while in the bottom half, he is speaking about the people with statements like, "throughout their generations." Chiastic pairs can also be dramatically different. A great example of this is the story of Jacob in the book of Genesis. Much of this story is told in a giant chiasm, which spans many chapters. In this chiasm, the layers are events rather than just words or phrases. At the start of the chiasm, we see Jacob fleeing from Esau's wrath. At this time, his prayers are self-centered and full of arrogance. At the far end of the chiasm, we see him returning many years later to face Esau. At this time, his prayers are very humble. So when you are reading the Old Testament, be on the lookout for these jewels. As you may have guessed, I do enjoy listening to the wisdom of some rabbis. They have not only studied the Old Testament intensely all of their lives, but they study it in Hebrew instead of an English translation. One Jewish teaching ministry that I strongly recommend is aleph-beta.org. Aleph Beta is purely Orthodox Jewish, so you might think that we wouldn't have much to learn from them. However, this is not at all the case. I am constantly amazed by the incredible insights that Rabbi Foreman and his team have. They have greatly enriched my understanding of the Old Testament, and I highly recommend that anyone who is serious about studying the Old Testament, especially the Torah, listen to their entertaining, animated videos at aleph-beta.org. The only thing to remember is that some of what they teach comes from the Talmud, that is, the tradition of the elders. Just like any other Bible commentary, a lot of it is good. However, as Jesus forcibly pointed out, some of these traditions are not good because they contradict the Torah, the written law of God. Even so, Aleph Beta's videos are absolutely worth listening to, and you will find Aleph Beta in our list of resources at the end of this book. I am amazed at how close they are to being able to put the puzzle pieces together. Sometimes when I'm listening to them, I want to shout, "Guys, you've got to meet a friend of mine. His name is Yeshua, your Messiah." I am praying that I will live to see the day when the eyes of these incredibly learned men are opened to see their Messiah. This leads to the question, if they understand the Scriptures so well, why can't they see that Jesus is their Messiah? That is a very good and very heartbreaking question that we will explore in chapter 11. Shalom. You've been listening to Understanding the Foundations. If you would like to discuss anything in this study, or if you just need someone to talk to, please don't hesitate to contact me at rick_arndt@yahoo.com. Thanks for listening.